So let's move on and change gears a little bit here. And I've got a couple stories about Trump's ICE Gestapo coming to Indiana. So, first of all, this one from the Indy Star: Indiana National Guard troops will mobilize to assist ICE with transportation and logistics across the state beginning in mid September, a spokesperson for Governor Mike Braun confirmed. It's going to be around 50 Hoosier Guardsmen helping ICE officials with tasks such as answering phones, biometric collection, tracking expenses, entering data, and maintaining vehicles. They will not engage in law enforcement functions or make arrests, the spokesperson said. So, plans to have guardsmen assist ICE is the latest evidence that Indiana is preparing to become a linchpin of Trump's mass deportation efforts. The state is making 1,000 beds at the Miami Correctional Facility available for immigrant detainees awaiting deportation, and Trump plans to use Camp Atterbury to hold detainees as well. Indiana already has one of the largest detention centers in the Midwest in Brazil's Clay County Jail, which has moved more than 3,000 people through its facility since Trump took office. Tracy, um, answering phones, tracking expenses, data entry. Is this the best use for our National Guardsmen?
I, to be honest, I have a different perspective, I think, than most people would because if they're busy down there, maybe they're not going to be coming up here to fucking Chicago and occupying. I'm not kidding. I haven't talked about this a lot with people, but on Labor Day, I was up in Gary at the beach and I was coming back and I got stopped by a train, as everybody gets stopped by a train up here. And I have the video of this. I saw a convoy of on flatbeds of military jeeps. Boom, 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 boom. Now it looked like they were headed away from Chicago. But I'm going to tell you, I have never in all the years I've lived up here and been stuck on those train tracks on that kind of day ever seen any military anything. The only thing you see up here are the South Shoreline and, shipping containers. So we're freaked out about ice up here. But no,
Yeah.
I do not believe that's what our National Guard should be doing. I think they should be doing things like mitigating all kinds of issues with climate, hardening us against climate change, helping with anything else, getting ready to help FEMA or prepare to take over as FEMA since that's going to be going away soon. Yeah, but
Yeah. Well, Derek, you're a veteran. You're a member of the armed services, right? Like, how does this make you feel?
So many feelings. Um, First of all, our any men and women of our armed forces should not be used on home soil, no matter their use. Um, yes, they may be administrative work, but still, that's not what they signed up for. They signed up to serve the state and serve the nation, not serve the ego of a few people. Um, So, no, it's not right whatsoever to utilize our brave men and women in uniform for this type of horrific grandstanding.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. They may not be used for law enforcement functions, as this article states, but the mission is
Mhm.
still fundamentally unconstitutional. Trish, do you agree?
Oh, of course, I agree with that. And I'm taking from the perspective of the Guard, the members of the National Guard themselves. Um, there's a practice that's been used in these other deployments of National Guard personnel to Washington, D.C. and other places where guidelines for receiving full benefits for National Guard is after you are on active duty deployed for 31 days or more, you are entitled to benefits. So they have used the corporate approach with these guard to put them in for 29 or 30 days, take them out for a day or two, They don't even have time to go home and see their families. They don't have, I mean, and then they purposely redeploy them for another 29, 30 days. And the unjust treatment of people who have signed up to protect our country in different ways, like with FEMA and with other disasters, are being treated so absolutely poorly. It really is heartbreaking. And then the other thing is, once again, our tax dollars are going to prop up the police state that Donald Trump wants to create. There has been $120 million spent in Los Angeles alone on the deployment of those troops. And we saw what the court said about that. So this is where we're going on this, folks. We are going, this is our little showcase. I have been in places where armed active duty personnel are on the streets. And even though I know I'm perfectly safe as who I am, it was very unsettling. So I think this is just a preview to get people used to seeing armed troops or even just people in uniforms in their everyday midst, to desensitize, to normalize a police state.
And what we were talking about earlier, vis-a-vis elections, I think they're going to want us accustomed to troops in the streets before election day next year, where they may be used for other purposes.